Hey all, good morning and welcome to ShareTrack. This is Raj here. The Dow, S&P and Nasdaq futures are all slightly green and oil is down almost 1.1% as I start recording this video at 6:35 a.m. this morning. After the quad witching related bounce on Friday, I am thinking that we'll revert back to mean and see some red. I'm not asking for it, but would be wary about that. That said, let's get started with the morning show. Welcome back, friends. The slightly positive can be attributed to China reporting its GDP grew by around 3.9% over the previous year. This is slightly better than what was expected, so possibly there is a little bit of recalibration in the markets. On the other hand, Tesla dropped 3.89% pre-market as a result of slashing Tesla car prices in China. I guess the tax cut they got in China could account for the price cut and should not impact Tesla profitability from China, but I still need to see the numbers to confirm if that is the case. Other than that, I guess this week we'll wait for some stimulus, negative or positive, to decide the move. In my opinion, a holding pattern with a few days slightly up and a few days slightly down without much strength may be possibly on the cards. We have Microsoft and Google reporting tomorrow, while Apple and Amazon report on 27th October. These results have the ability to become a catalyst to move the market. That said, let's look at the pre-market price action and see what's happening there. Welcome back, friends. We are in the TradingView platform looking at the Nasdaq futures chart out here. And I have just put this diagonal line of support out here to connect the higher lows that we are seeing so far. I'm feeling a bit optimistic about the Nasdaq futures, even though it is showing negative right now. I think we may be at the beginning of a bear market rally within the context of the larger bear channel that we see here, bounded by this diagonal red line on the top, because we have got higher lows coming up, and we are still above this diagonal line of support, which was earlier a diagonal line of resistance for the previous bear channel. So I'm feeling good about it. And with that said, let's go and have a look at the indicators. US oil is down minus 1.04%, and it's being pushed down by this horizontal line of resistance at 86.33. And also we have got resistance from the 10-day and the 50-day simple moving average, which is the yellow line out here and the orange line out here, both of which are around $86 and $86.72 respectively. As far as the MACD is concerned, it is just on top of the signal line, ready to cross over to the bear side, and the momentum is below average. So I'm thinking that oil prices could drop further. And having said that, let's go and have a look at QQQ. Drop in oil prices, as you know, is good for the inflation to go down, and which in turn is good for the stock market to go up. So it's a positive catalyst for us. QQQ was up 2.34% on Friday, and this morning it's up 0.32%, slightly up. So I have a support at 273.52. Just going to mark this as a support, and I have a resistance at 278.43, and we have just while I mark these as resistance, we have a MACD which is bullish and a momentum which is below average but still pushing up forward. Pre-market we are up 0.32%, so I think we're going to be range bound within these two ranges that I showed you before. S&P 500 was up 2.43% yesterday on Friday, and this morning pre-market it's already up 0.50. I think we are going to stay between 369.94, which will become a support, and we're going to be facing some resistance out here from 376.38. Right now we are at 376.13, so I'm not changing this. But if we were to break through this and convert this into a support, our next resistance is going to come at 381.55. The MACD is bullish, momentum is just above average and peaking up. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to convert 376.38 into a support before when the market opens. Our IWM, which is Russell Index, was up 2.17% yesterday, and today pre-market it's up 0.55%. So we are going to have support from 172.14 because we are right now at 173.65. So I'm marking this as a support, and our resistance is going to be this minor line of resistance, which is sitting at 176.82. And our MACD is bullish and momentum is just at 50%. I hope that it continues to pick up. If it does, then we'll challenge our minor resistance out here. Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 2.5% yesterday, on Friday, and this morning pre-market it's up 0.48%. So it's going to get support from 310.69 because we are at 312.38 right now, and I'm going to mark that as a support. And it's going to get a resistance from 312.49, and right now we are at 312.38. So if we break this resistance and convert that into a support, then the 50-day simple moving average, which is this thick blue line, is going to be our first line of resistance, and it's sitting at 314.46, failing which we have a resistance at 316.20. So that's what we have on the cards. MACD is bullish, and momentum is still above average and very strong. So I'm pretty sure that we are going to break this resistance, which is at 312.49, and that's going to be positive for the markets. And if you look at the VIX, VIX is up 2.36% this morning. It actually started higher and it came down. That's why we have a red candle out here. And I think that this diagonal line of support is going to provide adequate support. And we still have a resistance from the 10-day simple moving average, which is at 31.38. The fact that VIX is up means that it's going to exert a downward pressure on the stock market indices. So right now we are looking at a mixed bag out here, with the pre-market indicating a bullish open and the VIX indicating a bearish tendency. We'll have to see what happens when the market opens. Let's look at the US dollar index. Pre-market it's up 0.35. It's at 13,455.07, which should be right about somewhere out here, 13456. So this diagonal line is going to be challenged today. We are likely to break down below this, and if we do that, then this will become a red line. So right now we are at the very cusp. We don't know if we are going to stay above it or come down below it. So I'll leave it as it is in the pre-market action. But guys, as you know, that if the US dollar index goes up, it's negative for the stock market. So the VIX and the US dollar index are indicating bearishness, whereas the oil and futures are indicating a bit of bullishness in the indices. With that said, let's look at the established technology companies which move the indices. Let's look at Microsoft first. Microsoft is up 0.65%, and as I mentioned, friends, tomorrow we have the earnings from Microsoft. So we'll have to see what happens out there. And today we're going to get support at 238.81, which is going to be our support. And we are going to get a resistance at 245.15. Right now we're at 243.61, up 0.61% from our close on Friday. And our MACD is bullish, and momentum is also just above 50%. So I think that Microsoft could go up in anticipation for a better earning. Apple is down 0.03%, and again, Apple is going to report on the 27th, so there could be jitters about Apple's earning, especially because iPhone 14 production has been cut according to reports. So there could be some bad news out there, and that's why probably Apple is being a bit weak pre-earnings. And our support is going to be at 146.58 because right now pre-market we are at 147.26, and our next resistance is going to be at around 151.21, which is this thick blue line out here, which is the 100-day simple moving average. So that's what I have for you guys out here, and the MACD is bullish and momentum is also above 50%. So we'll have to see what happens with Apple. If it continues to stay above this 146.58, that will be good for the indices. Amazon was up 3.53% yesterday, and it's up 0.52% pre-market. And we have earnings report coming up on 27 October, and our support is going to be at 118.62, and I'm going to mark that green. And our resistance is going to come from the 100-day simple moving average, which is the thick blue line here at 121.90, and also it's going to be the horizontal line of resistance, which is sitting at 122.46. MACD is bullish, momentum is just about picking up, and it's above 50%. So I'm optimistic that Amazon is also going to support the index today. Google is up 0.42% pre-market after being up 0.94% yesterday, and we have a resistance which is going to be at 103.81. Right now we are at 101.91, which is above the 10-day simple moving average, which is this thick yellow line sitting at 99.64. So 99.64 is going to be the support, and our resistance is going to be at 103.81. MACD is bullish, momentum is just at average at 50%. It has to go above 50%, and if it does so, then it will go ahead and challenge this resistance at 103.81. So right now it seems like Google is going to support the index. Now let us go and have a look at our commodities. Wheat is up 0.96%, which is not good for us. And commodities, copper is down minus 0.88%. And it's kind of consolidating out here, but it has converted uh, the upper resistance bound of this pennant into a support, which is what we expected because this pennant is being formed on a upward price action. So we have broken above this, and our resistance now is going to be 3.55 going forward, and our support is likely to come from the 50-day simple moving average, which is sitting at 3.48. Right now, pre-market, we are at 3.4385. So we'll have to wait and see whether we break above this 50-day simple moving average and convert that into a support. Next, we have the Genomics shares, and I'm going to just sort them out to make sure that we have the biggest winners on the top. PSCB was the biggest winner with a gain of 16.32%, something good for PSCB. And we have a very strong support out here at 7.06. So I'm going to convert that into a support. And we also have support from the 200-day simple moving average, which is at 7.49. I'm glad that we have crossed the 200-day simple moving average. This is a sign of good health for the stock. However, we have the momentum reaching upwards towards 70%. So we all know that when the momentum reaches 70%, then it has to cool down a little bit. MACD is also bullish. Pre-market, we are flat right now. So I suspect that PSCB will have a little more gains, and probably in response to the superb gains from yesterday, there could be a bit of bearishness on PSCB so that it can moderate and then proceed up further. And then we are looking at Caribou Biosciences, which is up 7.23% on Friday, but pre-market there are no trades. So right now we have 9.37, which becomes our support. Pre-market we are at 9.64, and our resistance is going to be at 10.04. And Invitae was up 5.91% on Friday, but today pre-market it's absolutely flat. It's at 0. And we have this resistance at 2.15, which is exactly where the price is right now. So I'm hoping that this gets converted into a support. But the MACD and the momentum do not give me much hope. And if we manage to break through this resistance out here, which is going to be a bit difficult because it's also intersected by the 10-day simple moving average, which is the thick yellow line, which is at 2.18. I mean, if we break through this, then our next resistance is going to be at 2.56. But if we do not manage to break through this, then our support is going to be at 1.86. With that said, let's look at Illumina, which was up 5.45% on Friday. But today there is no trades pre-market, so the support at 2.10.87 becomes available to us, and our resistance is going to be this minor line of resistance, which is going to be at 230.67. And with that said, let us look at DNA. DNA is up 1.95% pre-market after being up 4.05% yesterday. So DNA is going really strong, but the MACD is bearish and the momentum is still below 50%. And we have seen such a steep fall out here that it's bouncing back, and it has a long way to go before it can regain any reasonable value. But right now we have a resistance at 2.68, which is very strong because it's merging along with the 10-day simple moving average, which is sitting at 2.69, which is this thick yellow line. And we continue to have very strong support from 2.33. And we'll have to see how we proceed from here, because MACD is bearish and the momentum is below average, but picking up. So if the pre-market action persists, then we'll have a chance of challenging this resistance, but breaking through it seems to be difficult for today. Allogene was up 3.93% on Friday, but no trades pre-market. And Allogene has managed to convert 9.93 into a support. So I'm going to mark that as a support. We have resistance at the 10-day simple moving average, which is 10.46, the thick yellow line out here. If you look at IDNA, it was up 3.13% yesterday. No trades pre-market. Editas was up 2.71% yesterday on Friday. And today pre-market it's up 0.85%. So it's trying to challenge this 10-day simple moving average sitting at 11.83. We are at 11.84 pre-market. So if we break through and convert the 10-day simple moving average into a support, then our next resistance is going to be at 13.14. MACD is bullish, momentum is below average, but just about picking up. And ARCG was up 2.60% yesterday, and pre-market there are no trades. Bean was up 2.53% on Friday, but pre-market there are no trades, and we have converted this minor line of support, minor line of resistance into a line of support, and it's sitting at around 44.04. Right now we are at 44.96. Verve was up 2.14% on Friday. Pre-market we have no trades. We still have a support for us from 29.72, and we have resistance from the 10-day simple moving average at 31.90, which has now been converted into a support because pre-market we are at the 32.00. Therefore, we have resistance at 33.69. MACD is bearish and the momentum is also below average, but it's picking up. So we'll have to see what happens when the market opens. Intelia was up 1.68% on Friday, but no trades pre-market. So it has converted this minor line of resistance, which is at 49.79, into a support. I'm going to mark that into a support out here. And IMTX was up 0.47% on Friday, but pre-market there are no trades. So there is no change in the status of IMTX. Teladoc was up 0.46% yesterday, on Friday, and pre-market it's up 2.41%. So we still continue to have support from 23.16, and we have a support from the 10-day simple moving average, which is this thick yellow line, which is at 24.47, because pre-market we are at 24.61. So if we open the same way, then we are going to have a resistance on this. I think I'm going to just pull this line further on this thin minor line of resistance, which is going to be for us at 26.12. Let's look at Bluebird. Bluebird was up 0.17% on Friday, and today pre-market is up 0.50%. So we are still in the same status as we were on Friday overall, because there is not much of a movement out here, and the indices remain the same. The indicators remain the same. MACD is bearish and the momentum is below average. I'm waiting for Bluebird to fall further so that I can pick up some more shares closer to the convergence of the 200-day and the 100-day simple moving average, which is at around 5.40 to 5.46 price range. That's where I'd like to pick up some Bluebird. I think the market is still waiting on them to give some indication about their finances, and there is no new news as I can see out here. So I think I can't say much about Bluebird at this point of time, except that I'm waiting for it to fall further before I can buy some. CRISPR Therapeutics was down 0.88% on Friday, and today pre-market it's up 0.30%. And right now, this is the price action candle out here. It's not yet formed, but this thin orange line, if you can see on your devices, is where the price action is, and it's just below where it closed yesterday. Almost just overlapping that, because these candles are small. They're all a one-day candle. It shows you what slight margins in which this particular stock is operating of late. The fact that this candle was small yesterday gives me some hope that we could be consolidating. The MACD is bearish and the momentum is almost close to 30%. So it's bouncing off the bottom. So we should see a bounce back today for CRISPR Therapeutics, and we'll have resistance at 52.13. A bit of consolidation here, and then a move up is on the cards, in my opinion. And if you look at SQZ Biotech, you can see that SQZ was down 2.40% on Friday. Today pre-market we have no trades. Nothing has changed for SQZ Biotech. And I'd just like to point out that CRISPR Therapeutics would have its earning on 2nd November. We should see some volatility out here before the earning comes through. With that said, my friends, I'd like to bring this video to an end. I hope you have a great day and a great week in the markets. Thanks and have a great day. If you like this video, please do not hesitate to press the like out there. And if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Bye for now.